Good morning, everyone. I'm Renato Junior Langoro Rarugal, and this morning I'll be discussing to you the studies on strategy instruction in reading and also the studies on reading materials or text. So thank you so much. Without further ado, these all the talks that I'm gonna give to you, the reading instruction in relation to curriculum and reading classroom, the reading instruction strategy, the instructional strategy on reading materials, and the conclusion I have made so that there would be a takeaway after this presentation. Now, let's go to reading instruction in relation to curriculum and reading classroom. So we know that um, that the reading instruction strategy and reading materials relies or its effectiveness really depends on how this will be executed properly towards the teachers or among the teachers and even among the learners or the learners itself. So according to Ray Rutsell, Carla, and Smith Jordan, 2011, the reading instruction strategy and reading materials, there should be an alignment towards the curriculum and the reading in the reading classroom. So when I say alignment, that means whatever the reading instruction that the teacher should be preparing, it should match to what is the curriculum program, the curriculum program, and of what is happening also in the reading classroom. So this one, there should be a alignment or the need of alignment of what is in the reading classroom and what it will be in the curriculum as its program. So it should not be separated, and whatever you will be, whatever the instruction strategy on the reading materials should also be the same adaptation of what is happening in the reading classroom and also to the curriculum. Like for example, if you, I have a reference, you can also read that, and that's a good example. Like for example, the reading curriculum of of the instructional strategy on the reading materials is trying to acquire much skills about the CBC or the sight words. Then therefore, whatever the reading classroom, the teachers having in the reading classroom about the sight words should also be the same encounter or should be at least in the same scope of the sight words and the CBC. They will be expecting when you do it separately in the in for the curriculum program. So whatever they have, whatever they have been experiencing in the reading classroom, at least somehow it should also be the same sight words. You cannot make a group of sight words that is totally different to the reading classroom they have been seeing and learning. So this one, there should be a need of alignment. Now, let's go to the reading instruction strategy. There are a lot of reading instruction strategy, and we know that the effectiveness of the reading program really depends on the aspects of reading. And so if you want to develop a really good reading program with the use of your instructional strategy on reading materials, then you should be able to address the 9 components or the reading, the aspects of reading. And this is made, prepared by Learning First Alliance. And I got this, I got this to readingrackets.com. I will also give you the link. So the 9 components of effectiveness research supported reading instruction. First, we know this. I know you have you already have the knowledge about this. First, there should be a phonemic awareness or letter knowledge and concepts of print. That means if you want your reading instruction to be effective, then you must start with addressing the phonemic awareness, the knowledge of the students about the letter and the concepts of print. And according to the research, if by the end of the kindergarten, the students doesn't match or didn't get enough knowledge about the phonemic awareness, then he might probably have the problem when he turns to grade one. So, or if that not acquired properly, it will be later on a problem in his reading difficulties or reading development. Another one, the alphabetic code or the decoding of phonics and the decoding itself. So yeah, we know already that for the students be able to have the fluency and the automatic reading, it should master first the phonics and the decoding. And I also have read there in that article that although comprehension happens before they acquire the reading skills, actually, um, their other side, comprehension happens or exercise a lot when the students had or have a broad knowledge about the phonics and the decoding skills. And if you also want to make your reading instruction effectiveness, okay, you should also prepare reading materials or strategy that could um, address fluency, automatic reading of the text. And also the vocabulary. So you should also have a exercises, prepared materials, and strategy addressing the vocabulary of the students. And of course, the essence of reading, it's not on the phonics, it's not on the vocabulary, it's not on decoding way or decoding process. It's all about comprehension because at the end, what is important is the student understand what they have been reading. So try to make a reading instruction that could address the reading comprehension skills of the learners. Later, I'm going to give you several kinds of instruction strategy to develop comprehension strategies. And written response. Also, there should be a written response where the students, after they understand, the student must have the skills of generalizing, organizing their ideas. And according to the research, those who are able to do the written response or writing skills, which is similar to this one, the spelling and handwriting, uh, they they are those who will have a long-lasting uh, meaning of the words or a sentence or a message as they grow or for their future reading. And spelling and handwriting, as for the reading comprehension, is supported by fluency, vocabulary, and automaticity. Same also with spelling and handwriting. It can support the written composition of the learners. And this one, the screening and continuous assessment to inform instruction. This is also what we do in making effective, making the reading instruction effective. The continuous assessment, so that we could also know who are those who are already advancing and who are those are still left behind. And we also make sure that by this way, the assessment we're making frequently or continuously, where we can make our learners secured of the reading skills they have and the reading skills, reading development they have. And the last one, the motivating, of course, this one, we all long that the reading skills of all the learners will not just be for academic or for just a for compliance in the inside the classroom. We want to motivate them so that they could have a unending and long-lasting appreciation to the text. Now let's go to the instructional strategy on reading materials. So I have five that I have researched. This is reciprocal teaching by Fantuso and Rulbeck 1992, interactive read aloud with informational text, studied by Mike Lord McClure E 2017, and Collaborative Strategy Reading by Palinsar and Brown 1984, Cross-Age Tutoring 2003 by Scott Little, and Peer Assisted Learning Strategy or PALS by Lynn and Doug Push. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I pronounce it incorrect, 1989. So actually I can do this, I can divide this into two, the, the cross tutoring, the pulse and the reciprocal teaching. I'm gonna discuss it. And then the latter two instructional strategy on reading materials, interactive read aloud and the collaborative strategy reading. Now let's go to our the reciprocal teaching. So when you say reciprocal teaching, according to Fantuzo and Robeck 1992, this is an intervention strategy combining self-management methods, group independent reward contingencies, and reciprocal peer teaching to promote academic and social competency. So in the reciprocal teaching, this is an uh, intervention where the student can manage their learning pace. It can also be a group, it can also be a reward system, and it cannot it this is not only promotes academic achievement, it also promotes social skills competency. So this involves uh, more than one or one-to-one relationship. Students alternate roles while in pairs or groups. So they can change. They can be the the tutor, not the tutor, the leader, the one who do the reporting, the one who take notes, and so on and so forth. So the RPT, reciprocal teaching, has structured format where students prompt, teach, monitor, and evaluate and encourage each other. Yeah. And students can prepare instructional materials and receive feedback from peers. So uh, as I have said already, in RT, not RPT, in RT, um, this is students can choose what kind of reading materials they like to explore with, and they can open the that group or the reciprocal teaching among the group for receiving and giving the feedbacks from one another. Yeah. So how can this facilitate the learning access? So first, it meets the individual needs. That is according to Mahedi 2001. So just imagine they are in the group uh, and maybe two or composing of I mean six composing of five or three or more than one. There in that kind of environment, surely there will be the individual needs will be immediately met. And it's different to the whole classroom attack of meeting needs, and we're no longer on that. So with that, it meets individual needs. Have a chance to be both the tutor and tutee, gives students the opportunity to make choices throughout the learning process. Rewards can be used as a positive reinforcement and to shape appropriately academically and socially within the classroom. So they're not just doing there for nothing. So the teachers can do the uh, reinforcement uh, methods or giving the positive reinforcement so that they can have the goal, they can have the target, and at the same time, it creates competitiveness. And at the same time, developing social skills. Why? Because some of the evidences, these are the sums, and this intervention was developed specifically for urban. And why urban? Because um, the reciprocal teaching needs a enough space classroom where they can be grouped, where they can work on their station separately. And this is sometimes hard uh, to to practice in the remote areas or remote schools. So this promotes social competence and peer acceptance. Yeah, it also improve academic achievement, and also decrease disruptive behavior. So since they are in the group, it eliminates the the disruptive behavior. How? They by respecting, by teachers guide of listening to others answers or listening to others talks. So that's the reciprocal teaching. Next, we have the cross age tutoring. So from the word itself, cross, that means it's not on the level. It can go or can bridge to another level. And age, that means there's a differences with the age. So the tutor itself can be paired to the one who is older than the older than himself and can act the tutor, and the one who is younger can take or assume the role of being a tutor. And this is according to Scott Little 2003, Hall and Stegela uh, researchers. And also, sorry for that, this may come a variety of age combinations, so as what I have said. So however, this cross-age tutoring needs training. So um, those who will be doing the tutor, those who will act as a tutor, they must undergo to the training. So such as what are the goals, how to do the problem solving or the strategies, and how to give appropriate feedback and reinforcement strategies to the tutor they will be pairing with. So this is provided by Barbetta and Miller, 1991. So how this can access learning? It engage both parties actively with disabilities in their education, gives them a feeling of control over academic outcomes. So that is according to Kalkowski, 1995. And students with disabilities can generate motivation in the areas. So since there is more knowledgeable other before them, they will feel uh, safe. They will they will be motivated coming from their tutor, who are good in giving appropriate and positive reinforcement. And students can use their skills to participate in individualized evaluation plan. So they can also made that kind of plan of what will be their targets, what will be their goals, what is the problem, what are the things need to be developed. And students can practice appropriate social skills while being academically engaged. So and evidences, there are a lot of evidences, teachers and ma'am and doc. I can give you the reference after this. So one of the evidence we have, it improves moderately in tutor and tutor achievement, tutor self-concept and attitude. And also per math, the effects tended to be stronger than in reading. So that's why this one, honestly, this is just according to the evidence. It is tend to be stronger to those who are doing this in math, and this I think this would also be the best for them. But we can also apply that in reading. Now let's go to PALS, or peer assisted learning strategies. So unlike cross-age tutoring, the PALS is a structured programs. PALS was developed in 1989 by Dr. Lynn Fox and Push, I don't know how to pronounce it, and Dr. Doug Push, 2001. So the pairing of higher and lower achieving students is intended so students gain knowledge from each other through practice and reinforcement. And next, teachers must carefully describe how the PALS strategies are done and how they relate to a particular lesson. They must closely monitor the roles taken on by each student and interject when instruction is needed. So the reciprocal teaching is, it's by group. Peer-assisted learning, mostly this is done by two or by partner, and since they are only classmates, they are peers. The teacher should closely monitor the roles that is happening already in the pair reading, so that um, the peers would still be, would still be on the same track of achieving goals. Now, how can this facilitate access? It enables teachers to integrate more strategic instruction during tutoring session because teachers can meet the individual needs of students with peer tutoring. And next, utilizes the inherent ability differences of students in various skill levels within the classroom setting. So, um, I think this will be the best way, as also I have learned from the articles and I have read from the articles. There will be a more opportunities for the teacher to give differentiated instructions when he do or when she or made the classroom in pair or do or follow the peer assisted learning strategies. An important advantage of PALS is that various groups of children in the same classroom can operate on different levels. So you see, so those who are advanced, they can be grouped. Those who are less, not to discriminate. Uh, Teachers can give more activities that could develop or that could cause these low performing students to achieve and to uh, to help them in their difficulties. So we have the evidences. So these are some lampo. For one, aside from the strengthening students' academic skills, it allows many students to practice their social skills with peers in a natural setting. So like, since it is only one-on-one or two peer reading, um, I think that will be a natural way to talk to their classmates, and that's why it really develops social skills, not only academic skills. Teachers can create and simultaneously implement different lessons to address a greater range of learning needs. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Now, for you to understand this better, I have a comparison table. This is not this is also came from the Learning Access, the Access Center readingrackets.com. So for the content area, cross-age tutoring can do multiple content areas. For PALS can do math and reading. For RPT or reciprocal teaching or RT, multiple also content areas, sorry. A number of students, cross-age tutoring only two, PALS only two, but RPT can do it more or can have it more. Role of the students, tutor or tutee. For PALS, tutor and also tutee, vice versa. And then PT, the RPT, tutor and tutor as well, tutee as well. And the type of interaction, there's an expert and in cross-age tutoring, and also it is cooperative. And for PALS, cooperative and at the same time develop competitiveness, and RT, cooperative. And the type of reward, social reinforcement, for that's for cross-age tutoring. For PALS, social reinforcement and earned points. And with RT, social reinforcement and earned points. Yeah. Now let's go to the fourth one, my favorite one, the interactive read aloud informational text. So from the word itself, interactive, read aloud. Maybe some of you already have done this or had done this before. The interactive read alouds are a way to engage students in experiencing this transaction while learning more about the reading process and various reading strategies through ongoing interactions with what? With text among their peers or the peers and also the teacher. So meaning to say, this is a kind of interaction while in the process of reading, the teacher asks some questions or posters some kinds of uh, 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 think aloud questions so that uh, the learners could still be so that the learners so that the teachers could know if the learners still understand something in along with the reading process. So this is transactional. So the goal of this can help students acquire the strategies and process used by good reader, and that improves the overall comprehension of text, both the text used to teach the strategies and text they read on their own in the future. So the goal there is to help and give the learners a way to acquire reading strategies and reading processes so that they can also use it in the future reading reading habit. Next, so to develop a interactive read aloud of informational text, the key there is the text selection. So whatever the text selection will be chosen, it should match the reader needs and the intentional or the instructional intent. And the strategy on selecting materials and planning facilitate questioning, can encourage students to express their personal understanding and perspective. So there, the teacher, to make this really successful, the materials and the planning, uh, teachers should have a series of questions that prompting students' thoughts and and uh, can can make the students or learners to think out loud of what is happening on the reading text. Yeah. Next, the collaborative strategic reading or the CSR. The CSR is a peer-mediated reading comprehension instructional model informed by the methods in reciprocal teaching. So same also with the peer tutoring. But later I'm gonna give you the difference and what is the focus of collaborative strategic reading. This is designed to teach students with diverse abilities, comprehension strategies for use with expository text. Now here, the approach uses a mix of world-class instruction and small cooperative peer learning groups. This can be heterogeneous cooperative learning groups with those students who can adapt and can apply for comprehension strategies. So this is developed by Vaughan. The click and clank, the get the gist, the preview, and the wrap up uh, comprehension strategy. So there they can preview, they can the next one during reading they can click and clack. When you say click, what they have understand, and clack, remove those who they cannot understand, or try to find out the meaning and get the gist if they understand the reading process. And after reading, they can do the wrap up. But this one, the CST, that CSR, this was developed particularly or specifically to improve the reading comprehension skills of those who have the learning disabilities and students who are at risk of, of having a reading difficulties. So yeah, this is the difference. The CSR mostly used in for those who are having learning disabilities or those who are at risk of having the reading difficulties. Yeah, so there are ways, there are evidences um, have made to prove this strategy. And there, those they said that those who received CRS as the experimental group has a significant effect than those who have than those who are in control group or those who doesn't didn't receive CRS or CRS um, a strategy, or those who didn't receive the CSR and others. Yeah, you can also try to explore or read more the effectiveness and the evidences of the research from the uh, from the uh, study conducted for CSR. Now, for the conclusion, so after all the instructional strategy I have given you and the reading instruction that should be addressed with, especially the reading aspect, the instructional strategy should be aligned, as what I have said, should be aligned with the curriculum and the reading classroom. Number two, it selects reading materials appropriate to students' need and instructional intent. And number three, according to Allington and Cunningham 2007, what all children need and some need more of is models, explanations, and demonstration of how reading is accomplished. So that's why I show you the, the studies, particularly to peer reading instructions so that it could develop more reading success. And the instructional strategy on reading materials evolves around the teachers, peers, experts, models, and parents. So before kasi I have a thought na this is only the reading instruction is solely for the teacher. But now through this research and to this report, the reading success can also be done with the teachers, with the peers, and with the experts. Much more also, having the instructional strategy on reading materials can also be given not only to the teacher, but also to the peers, experts, models, or and or a person who are ahead of them or more knowledgeable than and more knowledgeable than them, and also much more to the parents. So that's it. I hope you have learned something. Thank you so much. So the reference, I'm gonna give it, I will provide there. You can click the link and all the articles I have read, it's in there. So thank you so much. This is Renato Jr. El Ragugan. Um, and thank you so much.